What we're going to do in this video is think about limits involving trigonometric functions. So let's just start with a fairly straightforward one. Let's find the limit as x approaches pi of sine of x. Pause the video and see if you can figure this out. Well, with both sine of x and cosine of x, they're defined for all real numbers. So their domain is all real numbers. You can put any real number in here for x, and it will give you an output. It is defined. And they are also continuous over their entire domain. In fact, all of the trigonometric functions are continuous over their entire domain. And so for sine of x, because it's continuous and is defined at sine of pi, we would say that this is the same thing as sine of pi. And sine of pi, you might already know, is equal to 0. And we could do a similar exercise with cosine of x. So if I were to say, what's the limit as x approaches, I'll just take an arbitrary angle, x approaches pi over 4 of cosine of x. Well, once again, cosine of x is defined for all real numbers. X can be any real number. It's also continuous. So for cosine of x, this limit is just going to be cosine of pi over 4. And that is going to be equal to square root of 2 over 2. This is one of those useful angles to know the sine and cosine of. If you think in degrees, this is a 45-degree angle. And in general, if I'm dealing with a sine or a cosine, the limit as x approaches a of sine of x is equal to sine of a. Once again, this is going to be true for any real number a. And I can make a similar statement about cosine of x. Limit as x approaches a of cosine of x is equal to cosine of a. Now, I've been saying it over and over. That's because both of their domains are all real numbers. They are defined for all real numbers that you put in, and they're continuous on their entire domain. But now let's do slightly more involved trigonometric functions, or ones that aren't defined for all real numbers, that their domains are constrained just a little bit more. So let's say if we were to take the limit as x approaches pi of tangent of x. What is this going to be equal to? Well, this is the same thing as the limit as x approaches pi. Tangent of x is sine of x over cosine of x. And so both of these are defined for pi. And so we could just substitute pi